Hi, I'm Maribeth Quinn, a mixed media collage artist, and I wanted to talk about experimentation because experimentation is such a huge part of my art practice now, but it didn't used to be. And I was really thinking about why that is, why it took such a front seat position. I do far more paintings in experimental mode, far more than I do in the mode that I used to basically approach all of my artwork in. When I first became a painter, it was something I loved. It was something I really enjoyed, but it also quickly became a way I wanted to earn a living and put food on the table for my family. So I really thought of it in those terms, a very transactional sort of relationship. It made sense. But as the years have gone by, I've learned a lot about my creative process, my creative self, and I've also realized that I didn't have really a concept of experimentation as an artist, simply because I didn't understand its role. I didn't understand its purpose. And also, it intimidated me. Just experimenting, I didn't know how to paint something without trying to make something beautiful. I didn't yet know even how to think about painting, but not producing a painting. But instead, having your aim be learning and taking note of how things interacted and finding things that you like, and also finding things that you don't like and taking note of those. So you can ingest these things and they just become part of your knowledge base, part of how you know yourself to be. And so the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because what you see me working on here is the newest evolution of my mixed media collage work. And it's making my own botanical papers from acrylic and watercolor on tissue paper and rice paper and mulberry paper, tea bag paper, any semi-transparent paper, and then layering them to see how they interact together and the happy compositions that just can take place from these torn apart papers that I had previously made. The only reason that I'm doing this today, this kind of work that I'm enjoying so much, is because I primarily paint in experimentation mode, almost exclusively. It's kind of astounding to me, considering that I never used to do it because I thought I didn't have time, or it was a waste of time, or a waste of resources, or I didn't know how to let something not be attractive so I could learn something. And now that is really what I'm reaching for as much as I can. I love pushing myself into those areas where I have a really nice stomach for not producing something attractive, but instead looking to see what I've learned and what I can take with me away from what I've just worked on. So what you see here is just a piece of paper divided into 4 quadrants, and I'm just layering over the whole thing. And then eventually you'll see me cut them apart. And then I start learning how to problem solve each one individually and really hone my skills as a problem solver, because I have also found that to be, when I learned to problem solve, or learned how to learn to problem solve, it changed everything about my work, about my art practice, about the way I approached it, about the way I thought about myself, about my confidence level. And so that's what will happen with these pieces next, after the video ends and you don't see any more of them. They will get problem solved, they will get added to, it will all be about my attempt to save them and to bring them from maybe something that's interesting to something that is maybe beautiful or attractive. And so this way of working, where I'm primarily in experimental mode, is really responsible for the work that I'm doing present day, because I never would have arrived here had I not given myself that space and that mental permission to make things that weren't attractive and to see what happens with using certain materials. So I'm presently working on a class teaching this exact method of making these botanical papers with acrylic and watercolor, and then going into experimental mode and then problem solving mode, because I love it so much. It will be out sometime this month in March. I'll put a link to the wait list into the description, and I hope that you join me, because I think it's just going to be such a wonderful experience. That's what it's called, Mixed Media Collage and the Layered Botanical. And if you love collage and you love floral paintings, this class will probably be something that you will really, really love. So I hope you enjoyed this video or learned a little bit about art practice and experimentation. And as always, I'm honored you spend this time with me.